Hello and welcome, dear listener. The shuttle descended through the thick, orange haze, its engines groaning under the weight of a planet that had been marked as uninhabited. Captain Elena Moreno gripped the console, staring at the barren landscape below. Mountains jutted like jagged teeth. Rivers glimmered with a strange metallic sheen, and nothing stirred. Not a bird, not a sound. "This is it," Malik muttered, his voice trembling with both excitement and unease. "The most promising planet in Sector 7, and empty." Aliway scanned the readings. Atmosphere breathable. Water exists. No signs of civilization. It's perfect for colonization. Elena frowned. Something about the silence felt wrong. Too wrong. Perfectly empty planets don't usually exist. The shuttle touched down near a valley, its landing thrusters kicking up fine dust that shimmered like gold in the low sun. The crew stepped onto the alien soil, their boots crunching in rhythm, echoing unnaturally across the silent plains. Hours passed. They collected samples. They recorded data. They laughed nervously at the uneventful day. Yet the unease grew. Every shadow seemed deeper. Every gust of wind carried a whisper of movement that wasn't there. Then the first shimmer appeared. A ripple along the horizon like heat waves but cold to the touch. Elena froze. "Do you see that?" Leway squinted. "It's nothing. Just light." But it wasn't light. Shapes began to take form, tall, angular silhouettes that didn't match any animal they knew. They moved with precision, deliberate, synchronized, as though waiting for the humans to notice. Malik swallowed hard. "They're watching us." Elena's heart hammered in her chest. The empty planet wasn't empty. Something was alive. Something intelligent. And it had been waiting. The silhouettes on the horizon didn't move like anything Earth had ever seen. They weren't animals. They weren't humanoid. They were precise, angular, and eerily silent, almost like living statues. Elena took a cautious step forward, her scanner humming as it tried to categorize the unknown life forms. "Stay alert," she whispered. "We don't know if they're hostile." Malik adjusted his helmet visor, the orange haze casting strange shadows across his face. "Hostile or not, they're intelligent. Look at the patterns. They're moving in formation. They're communicating." Liway's voice cracked slightly. "Communicating how? It's just shapes. No sound." Before they could speculate further, one of the figures stepped closer. It moved fluidly, bending light around itself like a shimmer. Then it solidified into a form that, while alien, had a subtle symmetry that was almost familiar. Its head tilted as if studying them, and for a moment, the air felt heavy, a pressure like the planet itself was aware of their presence. Elena raised her hand slowly. "We come in peace. We mean no harm." The figure paused, then emitted a low, resonating hum that vibrated through the ground beneath their feet. The sound wasn't audible in the usual sense. It was felt, deep in the chest, an ancient language felt rather than heard. Malik grabbed his recorder, hands shaking. I think it's trying to communicate, but we don't understand." Suddenly, more figures emerged from the horizon, each more complex than the last. Some appeared crystalline, refracting the orange light into 1,000 prisms. Others seemed semi-transparent, their forms flowing like liquid metal. Liway gulped. "They've surrounded us." Elena's pulse quickened. Not to attack, to observe. She squinted at the shimmering beings. "It's like they've never seen humans up close. Or maybe they've been expecting us." One of the alien forms extended something that resembled an arm, but with multiple joints and a translucent membrane connecting it like wings. Light flowed along its surface, and the hum changed tone, vibrating faster like a question. Elena exchanged a glance with Malik and Liway. "They're asking us something. We have to respond carefully." She lifted a small translator device from her belt. Its screen flickered as it tried to interpret the alien vibrations. Words appeared in English, crude but understandable. "Why have you come?" Elena swallowed. "We are explorers. We study new worlds. We come to learn." The hum intensified, surrounding them in a symphony of resonance. The planet seemed to hum in response, as though acknowledging her words. Then, as quickly as they appeared, the aliens began to retreat, moving backward in perfect synchronization. Malik exhaled in relief. "They're letting us live. For now." Elena didn't feel relief, only unease. The planet wasn't just alive, it was awake. Watching. And these beings weren't the only things waiting for them here. Something deeper stirred beneath the surface, something that had been waiting far longer than any human could comprehend. The hum of the alien vibrations still lingered in Elena's chest as the crew followed the shimmering forms from a cautious distance. Beyond the valley, jagged cliffs parted to reveal a massive, crystalline structure that pulsed faintly with an inner light. Its walls curved impossibly, with edges that defied any human understanding of architecture. Li Wei's jaw dropped. This isn't natural. It's constructed. And it's huge, bigger than any city we've ever seen. Malik adjusted his scanner, which now read anomalous energy fields emanating from the structure. Not just huge, alive. The energy readings, it's like the building is breathing. Alina approached the entrance, a massive archway that seemed to shimmer like liquid silver. We have to be careful. The aliens may not want us inside. As they stepped through, the air changed. Gravity felt slightly lighter, the temperature subtly colder, and every step echoed in perfect harmony, as if the structure itself was amplifying their presence. The walls glowed with flowing patterns, alien symbols that seemed to shift when looked at from different angles. Li Wei touched one of the panels, and it responded instantly, rippling under his fingers. It's interactive. It knows we're here. Suddenly, a figure appeared ahead, taller, more defined than the ones outside, with translucent skin showing swirling energies beneath. Its face had no mouth, yet Alina could feel its focus on them. A series of vibrations radiated through the ground, more complex than before. Malik's translator flickered to life. Words appeared, piecing together from the vibrations, curious. Fragile. Intruders. Alina's heart pounded. They're calling us intruders. But they're not attacking yet. Why? The alien figure gestured toward a chamber ahead. Through the archway, they saw a vast hall filled with strange, hovering orbs and crystalline panels displaying images of planets, stars, and humans. Li Wei gasped. They've been observing Earthus, recording every detail. Where one orb pulsed and projected a holographic human family, small, ordinary, laughing. Then it shifted to wars, disasters, and moments of triumph. Every piece of human history was archived here, meticulously preserved. Malik swallowed hard. They've studied us. For how long? The alien figure extended a translucent limb toward the orbs. A shockwave of data flooded their minds. Memories, emotions, decisions. The crew staggered, overwhelmed. These beings weren't just observing. They were trying to understand the essence of humanity. Alina steadied herself. It's like a library but alive, and we just walked into the heart of it. A low, resonating hum echoed from the structure itself. The walls shifted again, forming passageways deeper into the complex. The aliens moved alongside them, silent, guiding, waiting. Li Wei shivered. We're inside their world now. We're part of it. Alina clenched her jaw. Then we have to find out what they want. Because whatever it is, we can't just leave. Not yet. As they advanced, the alien figures' forms multiplied, converging in patterns that made the crew dizzy. And from the depths of the hall, a whisper, or was it a thought, brushed against their minds. Some knowledge is too dangerous to take lightly, yet you will see. The deeper they ventured into the alien structure, the more the crew felt the oppressive intelligence surrounding them. The walls pulsed with light that seemed alive, shifting with every step. Every corner they turned revealed new arrays of holographic planets, stars, and alien life forms, all meticulously mapped and analyzed. Elena motioned for them to pause. Keep your scanners on. Something about this place it doesn't want to just observe anymore. Li Wei nodded, sweat forming on his brow. It's like the building itself is watching us. Every movement, every heartbeat, it knows. Malik stepped forward toward one of the hovering orbs. As his hand reached out, the orb blinked and expanded suddenly, filling the room with bright, almost blinding light. He stumbled back, his body trembling as a resonating vibration coursed through the floor. What the? Malik gasped. A voice, not from a mouth but from the walls themselves, echoed inside their minds. Intruders. Unprepared. Must be contained. Elena's grip tightened on her plasma cutter. It's the first warning. They're not just observing anymore. They're testing us. From the shadows, shapes began to move. Not the crystalline, calm forms they had seen before, but sharper, darker, faster. Alien constructs that seemed designed to patrol and strike. They weren't intelligent observers, they were sentinels. Li Wei stumbled back. They're attacking. Elena cut a low arc of plasma, slicing through the nearest sentinel. Sparks flew, and the thing shrieked, a soundless vibration that shook the crew to their core. Malik fired his stun device, temporarily freezing another patrol unit, but more poured out from the walls like smoke. Move, Elena shouted. They ran through the corridors, twisting and ducking as sentinels lunged from unexpected angles. The walls themselves seemed to shift, narrowing passages, opening new ones, guiding the attackers. Li Wei's scanner beeped wildly. This structure isn't just alive, it's adaptive. Every time we try to block a path, it opens another. It's learning from us. Malik's voice was tense. We're not just guests here. We're intruders. And intruders are expendable. Alina's mind raced. They needed to survive, yes, but also to understand. If the curators, whoever or whatever controlled this place, saw humans as expendable, what would stop them from exterminating the crew outright? Ahead, a chamber opened up. It was darker than the rest, a void in the structure, with an eerie silence that swallowed the hum of energy. A single, glowing orb hovered in the center. It pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. This might be their control hub, Elena whispered. If we can reach it, maybe we can stop the sentinels or at least communicate directly. The sentinels surged forward again. Time compressed into a blur of plasma, sparks, and alien energy. Elena glanced at Malik and Liwei, and despite their fear, she saw determination reflected in their eyes. The first real threat had arrived, but they weren't going to go down without a fight. And somewhere, deep in the structure, the curators were watching, waiting, calculating Chapter 4. The first threat, the deeper they ventured into the alien structure, the more the crew felt the oppressive intelligence surrounding them. The walls pulsed with light that seemed alive, shifting with every step. Every corner they turned revealed new arrays of holographic planets, stars, and alien life forms, all meticulously mapped and analyzed. Alina motioned for them to pause. Keep your scanners on. Something about this place it doesn't want to just observe anymore. Li Wei nodded, sweat forming on his brow. It's like the building itself is watching us. Every movement, every heartbeat, it knows. Malik stepped forward toward one of the hovering orbs. As his hand reached out, the orb blinked and expanded suddenly. Filling the room with bright, almost blinding light, he stumbled back, his body trembling as a resonating vibration coursed through the floor. What the? Malik gasped. A voice, not from a mouth but from the walls themselves, echoed inside their minds. Intruders. Unprepared. Must be contained. Elena's grip tightened on her plasma cutter. It's the first warning. They're not just observing anymore. They're testing us. From the shadows, shapes began to move. Not the crystalline, calm forms they had seen before, but sharper, darker, faster. Alien constructs that seemed designed to patrol and strike. They weren't intelligent observers, they were sentinels. Li Wei stumbled back. They're attacking. Ilana cut a low arc of plasma, slicing through the nearest sentinel. Sparks flew, and the thing shrieked, a soundless vibration that shook the crew to their core. Malik fired his stun device, temporarily freezing another patrol unit, but more poured out from the walls like smoke. Move! Elena shouted. They ran through the corridors, twisting and ducking as sentinels lunged from unexpected angles. The walls themselves seemed to shift, narrowing passages, opening new ones, guiding the attackers. Li Wei's scanner beeped wildly. This structure isn't just alive, it's adaptive. Every time we try to block a path, it opens another. It's learning from us. Malik's voice was tense. We're not just guests here, we're intruders. And intruders are expendable. Elena's mind raced. They needed to survive, yes, but also to understand. If the curators, whoever or whatever controlled this place, saw humans as expendable, what would stop them from exterminating the crew outright? Ahead, a chamber opened up. It was darker than the rest, a void in the structure, with an eerie silence that swallowed the hum of energy. A single, glowing orb hovered in the center. It pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. This might be their control hub, Elena whispered. If we can reach it, maybe we can stop the sentinels or at least communicate directly. The sentinels surged forward again. Time compressed into a blur of plasma, sparks, and alien energy. Elena glanced at Malik and Li Wei, and despite their fear, she saw determination reflected in their eyes. The first real threat had arrived, but they weren't going to go down without a fight. And somewhere, deep in the structure, the curators were watching, waiting, calculating. The sentinel's assault slowed as the crew entered the chamber, the glowing orb at its center radiating a strange, almost hypnotic light. The walls around them rippled, displaying images, star systems, alien cities, and what looked like archives of countless worlds. Li Wei approached the orb cautiously, scanner in hand. This must be their core. It's controlling the entire structure, maybe even the sentinels. Elena's eyes scanned the holographic projections. Look at this, these aren't just worlds. They're species, populations, cultures. Entire histories preserved. Malik's voice was a whisper. They don't just study life, they archive it. Everything that exists, everything that ever existed, they store here. The orb pulsed brighter, and suddenly, the crew felt their minds brush against a foreign intelligence. Cold, calculating, vast. Thoughts not their own pressed into their consciousness. Images of planets, experiments, and humans. Li Wei staggered. They know everything about Earth, about us. A resonating hum filled the chamber, forming a voice inside their heads. Curiosity detected. Intruders approaching the knowledge core. Assessing threat potential. Alina swallowed hard. We have to communicate. If they see us as a threat, we're finished. The orb's light condensed, forming a humanoid silhouette inside the chamber. Its translucent form shifted, showing glimpses of what could have been human features, but elongated, alien, perfect. Its presence was overwhelming. You are not meant to enter, the voice echoed. Yet it wasn't angry. It was calculating, like a scientist observing a delicate experiment. Malik stepped forward. We didn't come to steal or destroy. We came to understand, to learn. The curator, or the intelligence controlling this archive, paused. The orb shimmered, projecting visions of humanity, wars, art, laughter, tragedy. Every corner of human existence was laid bare. Your species is volatile, fragile, yet resilient. That is why you are preserved in potential, not actuality. Elena frowned. Preserved in potential. Humans are unstable. You destroy yourselves, but your essence is valuable. Observation is necessary. Experimentation unavoidable. Survival is contingent. Li Wei stepped closer to the orb, curiosity overriding fear. Experimentation. What do you mean? The curator's form rippled like liquid crystal, revealing alien devices attached to floating humans. Holographic replicas, not real humans, testing reactions to various scenarios. Some were war simulations, others were peaceful civilizations. Each scenario measured, recorded, and analyzed. Malik's face went pale. They've been experimenting with our species without us even knowing. Manipulating outcomes, watching possible futures. Where Alina clenched her fists. We're not part of their experiment. We're alive. We decide our fate. The orb's hum intensified. Observation is unavoidable. Participation is optional, but interference is monitored. Any threat detected will be neutralized. Suddenly, one of the sentinels burst into the chamber, its movements sharper, faster. The curator's light pulsed violently, and the sentinel froze mid-motion, almost as if the intelligence was teaching them a lesson in restraint. Elena's chest tightened. They're showing us mercy, but just barely. If we push too far, we won't survive. Li Wei's voice shook. We need a plan. If they're controlling everything here, including the sentinels, we can't fight them head-on. We need to outsmart them. Malik nodded. We'll have to learn their technology fast. If we can understand it, maybe we can communicate more directly. Maybe even find a way out. The curator's light dimmed slightly, as though acknowledging their resolve. Knowledge is dangerous. Wisdom essential. Continue, intruders, but be cautious. The next choice determines survival. Elena exchanged glances with Malik and Li Wei. Their mission had changed. Survival was no longer the only goal. Now it was understanding the curator and finding a way to escape alive. The chamber's light dimmed to a soft, pulsating glow, casting long, alien shadows across the crew. Alina studied the orb, the curator itself, with a mixture of fear and fascination. It was no longer just a force of observation, it was a puzzle, a sentient enigma controlling every sentinel, every holographic archive, every corner of this structure. We can't fight it, Alina said quietly, but maybe we can communicate. Maybe we can test its reactions. Li Wei frowned. Test? Are you suggesting we provoke it? Elena shook her head. Not provoke. Observe. Experiment like it experiments on us. If we can understand its rules, maybe we can find a weakness. Malik glanced at the orb warily. Or we get destroyed. Elena took a deep breath. We have to try. We don't have another choice. She stepped forward and projected a holographic representation of the shuttle outside the chamber. The orb pulsed in response. Energy rippled along its surface, flowing around the image, analyzing it. Object recognized, assessment initiated. It echoed in their minds. Li Wei hesitated, then added a new projection. Images of humans in the archive showing war, compassion, invention, destruction. The orb's hum intensified. A wave of understanding seemed to pulse outward. Malik whispered, "It's reacting to the patterns. It's learning from us. Maybe we can control the narrative. Elena nodded. Keep going. Show it that humans are unpredictable, resourceful. Make it question its assumptions. The orb shivered as if sensing their intent. A new voice echoed inside their heads, smoother, calmer, almost approving. Curiosity redirected, adaptive behavior detected. Potential hazard acknowledged. Aliway swallowed hard. It's assessing whether we're a threat. We're in its calculations now. Suddenly, the walls around them shimmered, forming a labyrinth of shifting corridors. Sentinels emerged, but paused, their movements hesitant. The curator was testing them, probing their reactions to controlled danger. Elena's pulse quickened. We can't stay here. We need data. The curator is giving it to us, but only if we play by its rules. They moved through the shifting corridors, each step a careful dance. Elena projected decoy holograms to mislead the sentinels, while Malik traced energy flows to anticipate their movements. Li Wei's analysis of the curator's pulses revealed patterns, moments of hesitation, signals that indicated when the sentinels were about to act. Hours passed, though time felt distorted. Every interaction taught them more about the alien intelligence, its priorities, its logic. By the end, they had a fragile map of the chamber's systems and a tentative understanding of the curator's behavior. Elena looked at her team. We've learned more in a few hours than anyone else probably ever has, but it's still controlling everything. One wrong move, and we're dead, Malik exhaled. At least now, we might stand a chance. Li Wei's voice was quiet but determined. We're not just intruders anymore. We're participants. And if we can keep playing by its rules, maybe we can escape, or even turn the curator to our side. The orb pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. Potential recognized. Intruders are adaptive. Observation continues. Next choice critical. Elena's jaw tightened. They had survived the first test. But the next one, the one that would decide if they lived or became part of the curator's archive forever, was coming. The curator's presence grew heavier with each passing moment, a living weight pressing on the crew's minds. Elena could feel it probing, measuring, weighing every heartbeat, every thought. The structure itself seemed to pulse in sync with the orb, walls bending subtly, corridors shifting to shape their path. Li Wei glanced nervously at the team. It's testing us again. I can feel it. The air feels sharper, like it's aware of our fear. Malik tightened his grip on his equipment. We've learned its rules, yes, but now it's going to push us to see if we can apply them under pressure. Elena nodded, her mind racing. Stay focused. Every move we make from here on counts more than ever. This isn't just observation anymore. It's a challenge. Suddenly, the ground beneath them quaked. A corridor they had used just moments ago had transformed into a vertical shaft of shimmering light, stretching impossibly upwards. From the ceiling, crystalline structures detached themselves, floating in patterns that resembled a living maze. The curator's resonating voice filled their minds. Adaptation is tested. Obedience is irrelevant. Survival depends on understanding the invisible laws. Elena swallowed, determination hardening her chest. We adapt. That's all we can do. They moved through the shifting labyrinth. Every corridor demanding precision, every choice measured. Sentinels emerged intermittently. But this time their movements were more aggressive, testing reflexes, coordination, and decision-making. Li Wei projected a holographic map, but the curator warped it mid-scan, forcing them to navigate blind through some passages. It's like it's reading our strategies before we even make them, he muttered. Malik's pulse raced as he dodged a sentinel, narrowly avoiding its energy strike. We're not just being tested on courage. It's our minds it wants, how we think, how we improvise under pressure. Hours passed in what felt like seconds. Every challenge escalated, walls that tried to trap them, energy barriers that required both logic and speed to disable, and the constant pressure of sentinels circling silently, waiting for mistakes. Finally, they reached a central chamber, larger than any they had seen before. A glowing platform rose in the center, and the curator's orb hovered above it, radiating a light that felt almost intelligent, almost sentient. You have navigated the trials. You have demonstrated potential. Choices granted. The voice echoed. Will you continue to be observed or claim agency within the archive? Elena stepped forward. Agency. We don't exist to be studied. We exist to choose. The orb pulsed, brighter than ever, sending waves of energy that coursed through the chamber. The sentinels froze, the walls stilled, and the labyrinth dissolved into a smooth, endless floor of glowing light. Li Wei whispered, Did we pass? Malik looked at Alina, awe in his eyes. We didn't just survive. We forced it to recognize us as equals. The curator's voice softened, almost contemplative. Observation continues, but respect granted. Intruders acknowledged as conscious participants. Next choices define legacy. Alina exhaled slowly. We're not out of danger yet, but we've earned something they've never given to humans before: recognition. As the crew gathered, they knew the structure wasn't just a prison or a museum anymore. It was a living entity, and they were now part of its complex consciousness. Yet for the first time, they had a chance to shape their fate. The recognition from the curator weighed on them like a double-edged sword. They were acknowledged as conscious participants, but the structure still controlled every corridor, every sentinel, every subtle shift in gravity or light. Alina gathered the crew in a circular chamber where the orb pulsed faintly above a crystalline table. We've learned how it thinks. We've learned its rules. Now it's time to see if we can use that knowledge to get out, without destroying ourselves. Li Wei nodded, overlaying their previous observations with new projections. The curator responds to intention, strategy, and adaptability. If we can predict its patterns, we can navigate through the structure safely. Malik frowned. Safe isn't enough. We need a way to communicate our presence on a larger scale. Maybe even negotiate. Alina traced a holographic map of the structure. The core controls everything. If we can reach the control hub, maybe we can project a signal that the curator can understand clearly. We don't want to harm, we want dialogue. Hours passed as they devised a plan. Using holographic decoys, synchronized movements, and Li Wei's pattern analysis, they began testing small corridors, sending projections ahead to trigger the curator's response without exposing themselves directly. The first corridor went smoothly. The sentinels paused at decoys, the walls shifted predictably, and the platform pulsed in response to their synchronized steps. Encouraged, Alina pressed forward, knowing the next sections would be far more dangerous. As they reached the final segment before the control hub, the curator's voice echoed in their minds. Intruders are aware of the rules. Adaptive behavior noted. Risk level escalating. A series of sentinels appeared in unexpected formations, cutting off multiple exits. The crew moved as one, projecting decoys, shifting in patterns learned from previous encounters. Sparks of energy flew from misjudged projections, but they pressed on, hearts pounding. Finally, the control hub appeared. A vast chamber with streams of energy connecting to every part of the structure. The orb hovered above a crystalline pedestal, glowing brighter than ever. Alina approached carefully, projecting an open holographic display to show the curator their intention: communication, understanding, no harm. The curator's voice resonated, calmer, almost intrigued. Intentions communicated. Risk recalculated, survival potential increasing. Suddenly, the structure's gravity shifted, tilting the floor. Sentinels surged in a final attempt to test their resolve. Alina and Malik coordinated, dodging projecting decoys and reinforcing each other's movements. Li Wei hacked a minor energy conduit, redirecting power to stabilize their path. At the pedestal, Alina placed her hand on the crystalline surface. Light surged through her suit, connecting to the curator's network. For a moment, their minds touched, human consciousness brushing alien intelligence. Observation ends. Dialogue begins, the voice echoed, warmer, almost human in tone. Intruders may leave, knowledge granted. Return is optional. The labyrinth dissolved around them, corridors aligning into a straight path to the shuttle. The sentinels receded, no longer hostile. Outside, the sky shimmered with the orange haze of the planet, peaceful for the first time. Alina exhaled, looking at Malik and Li Wei. We did it. The curator understands us. We have a chance to leave, and maybe even take knowledge back to humanity. Li Wei smiled weakly. I never thought I'd feel relief from an alien intelligence. Malik chuckled, exhausted. Let's just make sure we survive the shuttle ride home first. The planet was still alive, watching, but for the first time, the humans weren't just subjects. They were recognized as equals, fragile, unpredictable, but fully aware. And as they boarded the shuttle, Alina realized this was only the beginning. Humanity had survived a test no one else had ever faced, and lived to tell the tale. The shuttle's engines hummed as it lifted from the orange, tinged surface, leaving behind the alien structure that had challenged, tested, and observed them. Alina stared out at the planet, its jagged mountains and shimmering valleys now familiar, yet forever mysterious. Malik slumped into his seat, exhausted but exhilarated. I can't believe we made it after everything. Li Wei's gaze remained fixed on the planet below. We survived because we adapted, not because we fought. That's humbling. Melina exhaled, memories of the curator's trials flooding back. Every choice, every step, every decision had counted, every fear, every hesitation had been monitored and understood. Humanity had been tested, not for punishment, but for understanding. The crew's silence was broken by the soft hum of the shuttle. It was a hum of life, of reflection, of the weight of knowledge now carried back to Earth. They had glimpsed an intelligence far beyond their comprehension, and yet they had been granted recognition. They had agency. Malik spoke quietly. Do you think it will ever let humans return, or will it just observe from afar? Elena shook her head. I don't know. But we've changed its perspective. For the first time, humans aren't just data points or simulations. We are real, alive, unpredictable. Maybe that's enough, Li Wei added. And maybe that's what counts most, that the universe knows we exist, that our choices matter. The shuttle ascended into orbit, leaving the planet's surface shimmering like a jewel beneath the alien sun. Elena closed her eyes, thinking of Earth, of home, and of the fragile, incredible species she had the honor of representing. A quiet thought echoed in her mind, almost as if the curator had whispered it before they left. Survival is not merely existence. Survival is knowing who you are and what you choose to become. Elena smiled softly, a mixture of relief and wonder. We survived, yes. But more than that, we learned. Malik looked out the viewport. We're going back to Earth. But I feel like we're not the same people who left. We've seen too much. Felt too much. Li Wei nodded. And that's humanity's gift. To experience, to learn, to choose. The curator may have studied us, but in the end, it was our choice that defined the outcome. As Earth grew larger on the shuttle's viewfinder, a sense of purpose settled over them. The universe was vast, strange, and often terrifying. But humans were alive, and alive meant choice. Elena reached for Malik and Li Wei's hands, a silent promise passing between them. They had survived the trials, faced the unknown, and emerged with more than just survival. They carried back the proof that humanity's resilience and spirit could be seen, even by incomprehensible intelligence. And as the shuttle crossed the void toward Earth, the orange planet below shimmered one last time, as if acknowledging the humans who had dared to understand and be understood. Humanity had survived, and the universe now knew they existed.